morning. Sam Patterson with PATUE, coming to you live from the floor of NCCE. Now we're talking with Shawn Robinson from Panasonic, and he's going to walk us through some of the really cool, innovative stuff that Panasonic's doing with interactive displays. Hi, Shawn.
Sam, appreciate your time. So just tell you a little bit about what Panasonic is doing for education. This is what you're looking at here is our 65-inch PV series. We call it PV1. PV1 is a new interactive plasma display that Panasonic came out with. It's a proprietary technology that you don't see out there. Interactivity in the classroom has been a topic, obviously, in K-12 for quite some time, but I think the attitudes and the pedagogy around interactivity are changing in terms of what that means for the classroom and how it actually affects learning. So we can go through here, and what I want to show you are a couple of things built around this particular display. In particular, the fact that this interactive display, and we'll just show you the interactivity real quick, which most people have come to know and love. It's certainly something that you almost expect on a display now, right, to be able to draw on it. So we'll just go ahead and erase that. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about is 3D for education. You know, we've been sort of hearing about 3D for education inside the classroom, and whether or not it makes sense for learning and achievement, whether or not it's something that can be even implemented in a real and meaningful way. Panasonic is working really hard on doing just that, bringing 3D content. I'll step back 1 minute. We're working really hard on doing two things: bringing 3D content into the classroom and integrating it into current lesson planning and instruction. But we're also working on a 3D content creation certification program for high school seniors, which is really cool, kind of in the model of a Cisco networking academy, something like that, right? Where
so you'd have high school seniors finishing school with a certificate that said they knew how to create 3D content.
That's exactly right. It would be a Panasonic certificate of 3D content creation. So we'll walk you through front to back. It'll be a semester-long course. And you would be provided all the hardware, including the 3D Panasonic cameras, the 3D Panasonic displays, whichever that would be. And this display is a 3D display. But then we would walk you through 3D shooting, 3D video editing, and then final output. And then again, like you said, the student would graduate at the end of that semester with a certificate from Panasonic in 3D content creation. So what are we trying to do in that sense? The answer is I think, multifaceted. What we're really trying to do is capture this, the school to work initiatives. College and career readiness, making sure that we're arming kids with information and skills that are relevant to the job market. And I live in Southern California. This is especially relevant for us in the Hollywood area. In that, whether or not you have a kid that graduates high school and is looking at a 2-year, 4-year school, a technical school, or frankly going right into the job market, they're armed with some kind of skill that may be relevant to what they're looking for. But also a resume builder, right? Something on there that says you kind of went above and beyond. You'd be able to think critically about things other than burying your head in a textbook. So, what does that all mean? Ultimately, and again, it's twofold. There's a 3D content creation or a 3D certification program, which is meaningful. But then there's the content side, right? Bringing 3D content into the classroom. And we've had a lot of folks skeptical about the idea of that, because I think there have been some companies that have tried it and have failed miserably, frankly, and we're working hard to avoid that. We did proof of concept a few weeks ago with a group of superintendents down up in Northern California, and the response was overwhelmingly positive. What we did was we brought this display in. It's got a 3D IR transmitter that you have to plug in on the top here, and then you have your active shutter glasses that you have to wear. You have to have a computer with a graphics card that can run 3D imagery. But what we did was brought in one of our partners who develops 3D content for K through 12. And really where we see this fit are sort of abstract concepts that are more difficult to understand in 2D. For example, geometry. Geometry is sort of always the one that catches people's attention most, right? Where you are trying to learn volume and area and base and height and all these things, and when you're looking at a triangle or a box or a square, and 2D, kids sometimes don't understand how that actually pertains to real life, how the vertices open, so on and so forth. So our partner has a program that he's created where these geometric shapes can be pulled out in 3D, and you can spin them around, you can move them all up and down, you can click on the vertices and then open up the layers, and it's pretty incredible because when you can sort of show the fluid motion of them opening and closing, it's conceptually I think it's a lot easier for children to grasp that concept. What else? The other thing we showed in that proof of concept was a DNA chromosome, right, where it was sort of like helixes and something that again on 2D is sort of in the abstract hard to grasp the idea of what it actually physically looks like, but when we were able to pull that out in 3D, it was fairly incredible response that we got. Now again, this is conceptual stuff right now that's being worked on, but we're hoping that by fall of what would be 2013, that we'll have the content for the current instruction and then the content creation certification programs ready to roll out nationwide. So that's something that we are hoping will make a splash for Panasonic in K through 12 because that's we've been kind of looking to make our mark that way.
Well, I really like the combination of the best use of emerging technologies and marrying it with the certification and the open badging and open certification markets, because really there's just more and more coming out about that, about school to work, about relevant skills and that kind of thing. And if there's a job that requires knowledge of 3D tools, it could well be that I am no match for the 18-year-old that just finished a class on it.
That's right. And actually we've been working in conjunction with a facility that we call Panasonic Hollywood Laboratories. So we've been actually deeply entrenched with the 3D market in Hollywood for some time, because a lot of folks look in that arena are looking at our 3D technology as some of the best in the market. Particularly, we have a camera, and it's not here unfortunately. It's called the Z10000. This is sort of the darling of the industry right now in terms of feature set, portability, and price. So we've done work with James Cameron. We were involved in Avatar, and we've taken all that sort of we've taken all that the knowledge base that our company has, institutional knowledge, and applied that to education and learning in the K through 12 setting. So it's pretty exciting, and you should definitely be hearing more about that from Panasonic soon. One other thing I'd love to point out, because I know we're sort of this is a tablet, right? Everybody has a tablet. This is a Panasonic ToughPad 10.1 Android-powered device. Obviously, mobility in the classroom, one-to-one, small group learning, individualized instruction, differentiated learning are all important things, and I think everybody's sort of trying to figure out how we use mobility, how we use tablets to accomplish those things, right? One thing Panasonic is working on right now, and hoping to have it ready for ISTE in June, is a technology where we can actually have our tablet be a teacher device to control all other devices in the room, and that would include.
They are making progress.
For example, if you were completely one-to-one with 30 devices in a classroom, and then you wanted to, we're teaching to the whole group with our large display. We want to break groups out into smaller groups based on where they're at in the learning process, and be able to differentiate instruction through technology without actually having to speak that is something we're working on, essentially, so that the teacher would be able to, group these children over here and just push certain content to them, and be able to do different, content push to different groups of kids in the classroom at the same time, while at the same time allowing the whole group display to be doing something completely different. And frankly, that's the technology that we're working on is all peer-to-peer, right? It's not something that you have to get into the existing network over the infrastructure, so that we're not bogging down your...
and peer-to-peer is totally, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I've got a couple kids in my class who are on Mac laptops that are newer, and I'm on a Mac laptop that's newer, and we keep coming into these situations like, oh no, how do I get the file? Oh, just airdrop it to me.
Right.
And I've actually had kids get their file physically to somebody that could airdrop it to me because we didn't have any other way to do it.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely the future. I've been reading a lot about it. There's a lot of companies that are getting in the peer-to-peer communication from device to device, and what Panasonic is working on is that that would be device agnostic, right? We would be able to talk to Mac OS, iOS, Android OS, Windows OS devices across the board and be able to control them from the teacher level, so that she can use technology. I shouldn't say she, as I stand here with a male teacher. My apology.
No, it's just gender neutral pronoun, right?
He or she can again differentiate that instruction while integrating technology in a very real and meaningful way. So we're excited about that, and definitely look forward to seeing more of that at ISTE here in June.
Great. Thank you very much, Shawn. And I'm sure that we'll stop into the Panasonic booth at ISTE for a follow-up update and have our minds blown once again.
Thank you.